Alright, boys, we're back with another one. Best Roguery perk picks. This one, there's a lot of obvious perk picks in this one. It's not like the riding one that we did earlier. Link will be down below if you haven't seen it. This one had a bunch of picks that were if or and, you know what I mean? Just depending on your situation. But Roguery is a little bit more straightforward, right? So pretty much whenever you level up Roguery, you get better battle loot. That is pretty much it. The higher it is, the more battle loots. Alright. Alrighty, so, and also, this was recently, if I'm not mistaken, reworked a lot. Because obviously we had the addition of, like, the better raids. And the addition of, the alleys making, you know what I mean, pretty much becoming a feature in Bannerlord. So, yeah, these are kind of updated in my opinion. So, let's get right to it. First one at 25, we got No Rest for the Wicked versus Sweet Talker. I chose No Rest for the Wicked. Let's see why. So 20% increase, 20% experience gain for bandits in your party, plus 5% raid speed, versus plus 20% chance for convincing bandits to leave in peace with barter, and then minus 20% 20% prisoner escape chance in the governed settlements. Obviously a governor perk that you would not really use on your main character. I chose this one. I think the experience gain is great, especially if you have bandits in your party. And if you're going really hard into Roguery, you usually are going to have a bandit party. And the 5% raid speed is really, really good because raiding is actually very good nowadays. After that big patch that we got, it's really good. Raiding is back in a big way. The 20% chance for convincing bandits to leave in peace with barter, so you pay a little bit less, but it's like, it's not that big of a deal. And then the governor, obviously it's not even, you can't really utilize it, so therefore, this is better. Next, we have Deep Pockets versus Two-Phase. Deep Pockets, double the amount of betting allowed in tournaments, minus 20% bandit troop wage. Okay, versus 50% increased chance for sneaking into towns. And then no morale oh my goodness, I can't read. No morale loss from converting bandit prisoners. Sorry guys, it's literally 6 a.m. here. But you know, I'm out here. Gotta get this video up by 7. You know what it is. But yeah, I chose Deep Pockets because obviously tournaments, they're kind of good early game. It's a perk you get at level 50, which is pretty early game in my opinion. And if you're pretty good at tournaments, then yeah, you can really make some good money. And also the 20% bandit troop wages if you have a lot of bandit troops in your party. Again, minus 20%. That's pretty significant. 20% is significant. The 50% increased chance for sneaking into towns. Like I guess maybe, but like I don't know. I don't think it's that crazy in my experience. And the morale loss, it's a temporary morale hit whenever you do convert bandit prisoners. You wait a little bit of time, you know what I mean? You get a little bit of wins, your morale goes back up. I don't think it's that significant. So Deep Pockets is what I would go for. Next, it was In Best Light versus Know How. I'm pretty sure this one, it was kind of like meh in my opinion. Either one really kind of goes. But let's read it. So In Best Light, plus 1 extra troop from village notables when successfully forced for volunteers. And then plus 20% village recovery rate. Versus 5% more loot from defeated villagers and caravans, and then plus 1 security per day in the governed settlements. Alrighty, so why did I choose this one in Best Light? Because I like the 20% village recovery rate. So whatever villages your clan owns, they recover from raids a lot faster, which is good for your economy. And that's literally it. The force to give volunteers from the villagers, it's kind of like, I don't really ever do it. It's an option you get whenever you want to raid. You get more troops out of them, but it's like, it's 1 extra troop. Usually the troops are literally tier 1 troops. It's not that good. But I like the secondary effect of the village recovery rate. The 5% more loot from defeated villagers and caravans, it's kind of okay, but I kind of like the village recovery rate a lot better. So that's why I chose it. Next, we have Manhunter versus Promises. So Manhunter, 20% better deals on ransom brokers for regular troops. And then plus 10 prisoner limits. Versus minus 50% food consumption for bandit units in your party. And then plus 30% recruitment rate for bandit prisoners in your party. Again, if you have a, if you're going full into Roguery, you're going to have bandits in your party because there's so much synergy here. And this one brings, this perk in itself is literally, in my opinion, is like better than the last 3. Well, maybe not the last 3, like the last 2. Minus 50% food consumption, huge. If your whole party is full of bandits, that's pretty much double the, like, the food will pretty much count double the amount of days. If you were to be able to survive for 30 days, when you take this perk, you'll be able to survive for 60 days pretty much. So pretty big if you have mostly bandit troops. Even if you have a couple of them, still will improve your food consumption, and you'll have to get it a lot less. And also the 30% recruitment rates makes it so it's easier for bandit prisoners to be able to be recruited, obviously. And if you're going to make a bandit party, you first have to get them as prisoners, unless they surrender to you and then want to join you. But usually they're going to be prisoners first, and then you recruit them. So this is really good for recruiting them. Next, Scarface versus White Lies. So Scarface, 30% chance for bandits, villagers, and caravans to surrender. And then 5% chance per day to increase relations with a notable by 1 when you enter a town. Versus 20% crime rating decrease rates. And then 2% chance to get 1 relation per day with a random notable in a governed settlement. The crime rating decrease rates, it's okay. But I think the 30% chance for bandits, villagers, and caravans to surrender, if you're going roguery, you're going to want to do a lot of robbing. You're going to want to do a lot of thieving, you know? So you're going to bump into bandits, you're going to bump into villagers, and you're going to bump into caravans. 30% chance they surrender right away and you don't have to actually fight them, and you still get all their stuff, I think is pretty good. Next, we have Partners in Crimes versus Smuggler Connections. So Partners in Crimes, surrounding bandit parties always offer to join you. And then plus 2% damage to bandit units by troops in your formation. Or 2 bandit troops. So you're going to do 2% more damage to bandit troops. Versus plus 10 armor points to equip civilian body armors. And minus 50% trade penalty when you have a crime rating. Alrighty, this should be an obvious choice. This is a fun perk to get, obviously, the Partners of Crime, because the surrounding bandit parties always offer to join you. Now, this pretty much means that whenever you do overpower the bandits, they will always join you. But in all reality, really what you need to do is, if you overpower bandits, I think it's like 7-1, or maybe it might be 10-1 in terms of troops. You know, or maybe there's like a power level scale. But if you are like, let's say for example, you have like 100 troops and you bump into a party of like 10, 15 looters, they're always going to join you regardless if you have this perk or not. You know what I mean? If you heavily outnumber bandits, they will join you. With or without this perk, but this just makes it more of a guarantee. So again, it's not as good as, you know, 10 armor points to equip civilian body armors, which is great because obviously now with the addition of allies, you will be fighting in towns a lot more, and therefore you'll be using civilian body armor right over here. If you go over here, so not party, your inventory. This is your battle outfit. This is your civilian outfit. I have nothing on. Don't mind me. But let me go get some armor real quick, so I could prove a point. Let's get something cheaper that, you know, most people might have right over here. For example, this right over here. So this has 12 armor. With the perk, it's gonna have 22 armor. Pretty good. And then obviously it goes for every single part of the armor. Or actually, I'm mistaken. I think this has 2, but since I already have the perk picked, it has 12 now. But it had 2 originally. My apologies. All right. Now moving. Where is it? And also, the minus 50% trade penalty is huge when you have a crime rating. So if you have a crime rating, obviously in the region of whoever, you know, trade penalty, you know, you get pretty good deals. Pretty good deals. I think it's a pretty obvious choice. Obviously, it's a fun perk versus 2 really good, what do you call it? I guess perks, right? Yeah, Smuggler Connections, easy choice. Next, One of the Family versus Salt the Earth. One of the Family, plus 10 bonus vigor and control skills. These guys right over here, so pretty much all your fighting. The one-handed, two-handed polearm, bow, crossbow, and throwing. Where is it? Right over here. For your bandit units in your party. So your bandit units pretty much are more efficient in battle. Pretty good. And then plus 1 recruitment slot when recruiting from gang leaders. Okay. Versus plus 20% more loot when villagers comply to your hostile actions. Okay. And then plus 5 tariff revenue in the government summit. So what does it mean by villagers comply to your hostile actions? Whenever you go to raid a village, you have the option to force them to either give you supplies or recruits. And pretty much if you do that, then you're pretty much ruining your raid, because what happens is you have a choice. You can either start raiding their village, and you're going to have, like, I think it's 20 pretty much ticks. And each tick will give you gear, the main production of the village, and some dinars, right? Now, if you are to force them to give you, for example, troops, or force them to give you goods, you're going to get 20% more loot with this perk. But if you try to raid them after you do this forcing, you only have 3 ticks left. You don't have the full 20. If that kind of makes sense. So pretty much just like, you're going to lose in the end regardless, even with the 20% more. I think it's way worth it to just raid. That's why I do not pick the... I did not pick this one. I think this one's a lot better. It makes your bandit troops a lot more efficient. In my opinion, I think bandit troops, they kind of fall off, especially late game. Not all bandit troops. There are some good ones, especially like the leaders. You know what I mean? Like the mountain bandit leader. He's a good... like pretty much every single bandit has kind of like a leader type of troop. Those are pretty high tier troops. But again, the regular troops in the game, the highest tiers of the regular troops, they always beat the bandit troops. So having this plus 10 bonus, it does kind of, you know, improve your troops just the slightest and make them a little bit better late game. So one of the family, better choice. Next, Carver versus Ransom Broker. So Carver, plus 10 damage with civilian weapons. This is kind of like the same as the, where is it? The 10 armor points for equipped civilian body armors. And then plus 2% one-handed damage by troops under your formation. So just quick one-handed troops get 2% more damage. Versus 25% better deals for heroes from ransom brokers. And then 30% is minus 30% escape chance for hero prisoners. I like this one a lot. I capture a lot of heroes and lords late game, and obviously getting 25% more money from them as well is great. So they will stay as your prisoner for a longer time because their escape chance is a lot worse. Plus, you get more money for them. So it's a win-win. Ransom Broker is a pretty good perk in my opinion. Really good. But this one is also not bad, but at the same time, this one's just the better choice. Next, Arms Dealer versus Dirty Fighting. So this one, it's a toss-up. I'll keep it real with you. It's a toss-up. So let's go over it first. So Arms Dealer, minus 20% sell price penalty for weapons. So that pretty much means you're just going to get a better deals whenever you sell weapons. Or you're going to get more money, really. And then plus 2% militia per day in the besieged government summit. That's not that crazy, but the first one is pretty good. The sell price penalty. And then versus 50% stun duration for kicking, and then plus 2 random food item will be smuggled to the besieged government summons. I solely did not pick this one because I don't really kick that often. Maybe I should. Maybe I should start doing it more. But if you love to use the kicking feature in Bannerlord, it does stagger your enemy. This will make them staggered for even longer, which will let you get a better hit in. I like blocking and kind of just hitting like and fighting like that. Call me a noob, call me whatever you want, but if you do like using the kicking feature a lot, then this might be the choice for you. But I like being able to sell weapons for a little bit better, you know what I mean? A little bit more money. So I chose Arms Dealer. But again, you could choose Dirty Fighting. It really depends on you. Next, you have is Dash and Slash versus Fleet Footed. So Dash and Slash, we have 50% plus 50% damage bonus from speed while on foot. So that pretty much means if you're a fast guy, if you're running and then you swing, you will do more damage. You'll do 50% more damage. And plus 2% two-handed weapon damage by troops under your formation. There it is. If you have a lot of troops with two-handed weapons, they do 2% more damage. Versus 10% oh my goodness, I can't read. 10% combat movement speed with no weapons or shields that are equipped, and 30% escape chance when imprisoned by mobile parties. I chose this one. I like to go fast. The 10% movement speed is actually pretty good. What you can do is, if you are an archer, you know, again, this is kind of late game as well. So probably a better example is, let's say, for example, you're in a battle, you get off your horse, or you fall off your horse, you get knocked down from your horse, and there's like literally like 17 guys running after you. This 10% might be what makes you outrun them and run back to your army if you are caught off guard. All you have to do is just de-equip your weapons and just run. You know what I mean? And also, if your athletics is high as well, plus this, you can really gain some speed. And 30% escape chance when imprisoned by mobile parties is also good, because sometimes, you know, you really can get stuck. You know what I mean? If you take some risky fights and you become a prisoner, you really can get stuck for a long time. So this can help you escape very quickly. 30% is pretty good. So I choose fleet-footed. But dash and slash, it's okay. But I think this is the better choice. And lastly, we have is Rogue Extraordinaire. Plus 1% loot amount for every skill above 200. So you just get more loots, you know, past 200. Yeah, it's the only choice. So it's the best choice. You know how it is. You know how it goes. But that's pretty much going to do it for me. That is all the roguery picks, as you can see right over here. Check out all the other ones I have. I have one for riding. I have one for scouting. And I have one for... Man, I don't even remember at this point. And for charm. Those are all on my channel. Go check those out. And I'm going to do each single skill tree. And then I'll make a, you know what I mean, like compilation video, whatever. But yeah, I'll do it for me. And I'll see you guys in the next video.